Serving it up to you live on the Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast Network. I'm Bruce Nolan, that's Nate Geary, and this is Food for Thought. That's right, a show combining two of your three favorite F words, food and football. The third one's fur balls, because he had it right there on camera. Get your mind out of the gutter. It's obviously fur balls. A reminder that every show on the Buffalo Rumblings broadcast, on the Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast Network, mind you, is presented by Picasso's Pizza. Treat yourself to the most flavorful pizza on game day. Picasso's. We are Buffalo Pizza, shipping locally and nationwide. Order online at picassopizza.net. Mr. Geary, how you doing?
It's Friday. It's Chiefs week.
You're doing Kung Fu with the camera?
I'm doing Kung Fu with the camera. And also, you genuinely stumped me this week, pal. You stumped me on this week's show topic for the first time in the existence of this show.
Well, I'll make sure that I do my best to repeat. Or maybe I should just retire right now and say, well, that's it. Pull a George Costanza, tell a good joke, have people laugh, and just go, all right, that's it. Have a good day, everybody. Just get up, walk away. All right, I'm done.
If anyone was going to retire, it would be you. You're in an advanced age.
Ouch. Ouch, Mr. Geary, ouch.
You drink tea before bed, you know?
I do.
And
I do. Green tea with honey.
You drink tea before bed. You eat plain crackers, unsalted.
I do. Unfrosted Pop-Tarts.
Unfrosted Pop-Tarts, that's right.
Unfrosted sugar cookies. And grape nuts.
And ginger snaps.
No, not a ginger snap guy.
I love ginger snaps. I don't care that it makes me a geriatric. So recently, Bruce, I came across lemon snaps.
Oh.
Basically like hard lemon shortcake cookies.
All right. I'm here for it.
Real good.
You know what else I'm here for? Genesee Brewery Company. I'm all the way in on Genesee Brewing Company. Since 1878, Genesee has poured generations of brewing knowledge into each pint, can, and bottle of their beer. They make no sacrifices when it comes to their beer, brewing each with the highest quality ingredients for a consistently great drinking experience. Look for Genesee Beer, Genesee Light, Cream Ale, and their specialty line with beers like Ruby Red Kolsch and Oktoberfest. Genesee Brewery, Rochester, New York. Even Karen in the comment section knows that was a low blow. Nate, he knows.
Better watch out. You got to keep your head on a swivel, brother.
I know.
It's Chiefs week.
You fight dirty.
I do.
But, hey, make sure you hit all the engagement buttons, people. Like, subscribe, rate, review, do all the things that make the endorphins go off in our brain. A reminder that all super chats, $10 or greater, get a Genesee pint glass. Make sure you're following at Genesee Brewery and at Nate Geary Sports on Twitter, and DM at Nate Geary Sports proof of the super chat and the Genesee follow with your address, and he will get you a pint glass. Are you ready, Mr. Geary?
Me.
Yes, you.
Yes.
Is there another Mr. Geary around? Is the cat's last name Geary?
If it is, he's here also, ready to go.
Coming up with middle names for your pets is always a challenge. So you know that we recently got a puppy, and his name is Drax.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to come up with a middle name for Drax. And one of my dog's middle names is Doggenhausen.
Yes, very good.
And we were trying to come up with something good. And we decided that his middle name was going to be Jump Up Again. So it's Drax Jump Up Again Nolan. And it's because he won't stop jumping up again.
Sure.
So his name is Draximus, is the full name, obviously. Draximus Jump Up Again.
Nolan. See, I don't have a middle name for Sam here. He goes by many names. Many different variations of Sam. Samson, Samsonite is one that I use
Samsung.
regularly. Samsung, Samuel, yes, all of these things.
Ding Dong.
Samsonite might be my most popular one, for the Dumb and Dumber folks and the fans.
Do you always start off by going Swami,
Simpson, Swanson, Simmy, Swami, Simpson,
Samsonite?
I literally do.
Off.
I literally do it all, like probably once a day. Yeah. The things we say. Could you imagine if there were cameras and or microphones around us while we spoke to our animals?
Oh, everyone would think we were crazy. I'm convinced
You could learn a lot about a person.
Contact with us is because they watch us talk to our pets, and they go, "These guys are freaking crazy."
We should, before you get married, you should know how your significant other speaks to animals.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like watching them order food and how they treat waiters. It's 100% just like that.
That's right. That's right.
Watch them talk to a pet. All right, let's get started. We're going to talk about white whales.
Yeah.
White whales today. And the reason that is pretty obvious. It's Bills Chiefs. And I'm writing an article right now for Buffalo Rumblings that will drop probably tomorrow about how the Chiefs are not the boogeyman, win or loss. And so there's this feeling, because the Buffalo Bills have lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs a couple years, that you just got to get over the hump. You got to get over the hump. And I don't think that is the same vibe that you had with the Patriots, for example, for all those years. I don't think the Chiefs are the boogeyman. But I would argue they're the white whale. They're being hunted. We are hunting them. You are trying to slay your white whale. If any of you out there are Moby Dick fans. So we're going to talk about white whale foods. And white whale foods can be interpreted however you would like to interpret the Moby Dick reference. It can be your food nemesis. It can be a food you are attempting to slay, a food you have yet to slay, but you are actively searching it out. It could be something you've tangled with before and it never really went your way, kind of like Ahab. But for me, my white whale food is ghost peppers.
Ooh.
And the reason why ghost peppers are my white whale foods is because I've had ghost pepper foods before. Ghost pepper barbecue sauce. I've had some ghost pepper, in a burrito. And ghost pepper for me is a type of heat that needs to be balanced with something. I just haven't found the right thing to balance it with. I've had it and it's fine, but I haven't slayed it. I've consumed it and I've done battle with it and I've come out alive, much like Ahab did. He came out alive, but he didn't win. Just surviving is not winning.
That's right.
So, especially when you lose a piece of yourself. And as we all know, if you've lost a piece of yourself a couple hours after having some ghost peppers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe you lost a lot of piece of yourself. But for me, I'm still trying to find the appropriate dish where ghost peppers can be balanced with something else. I can consume it, be done with it, and go, yep. That was an assured W. That was a decisive victory.
A dub. It was a dub.
It wasn't just surviving. It wasn't just escaping with one leg. It was absolutely, unquestionably, unequivocally a dub. And so for me, my white whale food is ghost peppers.
I like that. I like that a lot, Bruce. I went a different stroke because I'm a different folk. And I went with something that I've mentioned on this show before that I have never tried and would like to conquer. And that to me is caviar. And for the same reasons that I'm sure Andy is in his white whale food is real Kobe Wagyu beef, something from Japanese Wagyu, I'm sure. The reason Andy doesn't probably go for the Kobe Japanese Wagyu beef is how expensive it is. But whenever everyone's, I'm sure at some point, one or another, us common folk who don't eat caviar regularly, it's not a tasty treat or a special snack, right? Typically it's served at some kind of high level party, right? A black tie event, a formal event, hors d'oeuvre of some sort, right? And I've been to some of these. I was at a golf tournament this year that was very fancy at a country club, and they served caviar. And there's that moment of deep fear, Bruce, that if you try the caviar in front of people oh yes, caviar, please, thank you. And you go ahead and you take it, and you've never had it like me, you have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what the flavor profile will be. I have no idea what the texture will be. And you know me, big texture guy. The last thing, oh my God, could you imagine the horror in my eyes, Bruce, if I were to toss that cracker with caviar into my mouth, take one bite. Wow, why do I keep saying one bite? One bite, and immediately going with the gag reflex, because that's probably, I picture myself doing exactly that whenever I try caviar. So if I'm going to try caviar and immediately either A, reject it, or B, gag, I do not want to be in a group of people that are all wearing suits, ties, enjoying their evening. Then they'll look at me as like some giant lowlife. So it's one of those foods I know I'd like to conquer because I'm going to come across it again in a social setting in my life, Bruce. So I feel like I need to do it in private. The problem is, who wants to buy like a $50 thing to try and then potentially throw up? So there's just this. It's a really difficult. It's a true Moby Dick for me.
Salty, fishy,
nope.
Rubber ball bearings.
Okay.
That's caviar. Just so
you
know.
The fishiness, what are we talking about? When you say fishiness, what do you mean?
Not like swordfish, not like that fishy, but salty. Salty rubber ball bearings. Maybe gummy ball bearings. Salty gummy ball bearings. Go with that one.
What does ball bearings taste like? Just like oil and grease?
Well, no. So ball bearings, yeah. So ball bearings have the oily, and they're also really small and really small and round.
Yeah.
So that's why I went with ball bearings. Oily, small, and round.
So basically,
and then obviously salty, and then gummy for the texture.
Oh, it's gummy?
Well, the little fish
like
eggs.
Boba? Like boba gummy?
Little bit lighter than boba.
Oh man. It's much smaller, obviously.
Much smaller. It's not my thing. It's absolutely not my thing.
What would you say the prevailing, you're like, here's why someone would do it? Is it strictly
salty.
Because is it the status of it?
It's if you are someone who likes salt, like heavily salted scallops, for example, I can see why you would like it. Scallops are not scallops are not super fishy, right? But they're a little bit salty, salt watery, right?
Fishy for me. Yeah.
So yeah, I would say, yeah, the same reason people like scallops. It's not for me. It's absolutely not for me.
Yeah, it does not sound like it's for me. It sounds like I made a great choice not trying it at the country club and embarrassing myself. Because if I threw some black boba that was fishy and salty in my mouth, 100% I'm yakking in front of people.
It's just, you're going to try it. You're going to come back and be like, Bruce, what are you talking about? This is awesome. And I'm like, okay.
I don't think so, Bruce. I disagree with you on some things, but I know that there are a couple of things you wouldn't steer me wrong on. And I feel like this is one of those times that you simply would not steer me wrong.
I'm just trying to give an accurate representation without.
Listen, I appreciate it.
Without it being like, I don't want to say it tastes like garbage, right? I don't want to say that. Right. I want to give you an accurate flavor profile. And I think salty, gummy ball bearings totally works.
All right. Well, I'll be sure to never try it now. Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it.
Well, something I wouldn't mind trying. I wouldn't mind trying that Bills Steelers game again. That was fun.
Oh, was it? I would put that on for size one more time.
Absolutely. I'd put it on, just a nice little background noise.
Yeah, like
while I'm trying to fall asleep.
Like Silence of the Lambs, he just throws the skin suit on just for a little while, just wear it around the house. I'd wear it around the house. Sure.
You went in a really dark direction, okay, but I'm trying to follow you. Yeah. I'm really trying to follow you as you go down this dark road. But if Bills Steelers was a food, Nate, I'm going to let you go first on this one because I went first on the last one. If Bills Steelers was a food, what kind of food would it be?
Bruce, I'm glad you asked. If Bills Steelers was a food, it would be New York style pizza. Because you know what they say about pizza, Bruce? Pizza is a lot like sex. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good. And the Bills rested a lot of their key players. Very key, in fact. Tremaine Edmonds, Jordan Poyer. I mean, they were missing probably 2 of their 3 leading tacklers when this season comes to a close. And a guy right now who still leads the league in interceptions is Jordan Poyer, with only playing 3 games, 4 interceptions in 3 games. You can't mess up pizza. I mean, you can, but it's really hard to mess up pizza. Just like you can't mess up a 14-point spread, Bruce.
That's good. I like that. I like it a lot. For me, Bills Steelers, I had something written down, and then I had a food this evening for the very first time.
Mind.
That changed my mind.
Wow, love that. That's what the show's all about.
Yeah, well, you gotta stay light on your toes. You got to be flexible. If Bills Steelers was a food, it would be the jalapeno honey hummus that I had this evening.
Awfully
You heard me
specific.
correct. Jalapeno honey hummus. Here's why. Gosh, you have a little bit of it. It's smooth. It's sweet.
Sure.
It's easy. And you're like, yeah, this goes with everything. I could dip a cracker on it. I can say, grab a piece of celery. I can grab some carrots. It doesn't matter. I'm good. It's smooth. It's sweet. It's delightful. And then at the very, very end, it's a little spicier than you thought it was going to be. Just like the Bills Steelers game. At the very, very end, there's pushing
spicy.
and there's shoving and it's feisty and it's spicy. And we're like, listen, this has been smooth the whole time. It's been smooth. It's been delightful. It's been easy. Can we please not have a scenario where there's brawls, right? Shaq Lawson hits Kenny Pickett low, but it was outside the pocket, completely legal. You have a Damar Hamlin putting his shoulder into the armpit and shoulder of Kenny Pickett as he slides. Steelers offensive lineman did not take kindly to that. But all that stuff happened at the very end. It was smooth and it was sweet the entire game until you start to get that. Now, it's not super spicy. It wasn't an all-out brawl. The benches didn't clear. It wasn't like it was honey hummus with ghost pepper. No. Honey hummus jalapeno. Jalapeno is a little spicy. It's a little bit. It's not.
It's a little spicy.
It's a little spicy. It's not. I mean,
I've had a hot jalapeno though.
Sure, yeah. You smoke the darn thing, turn it into Chipotle.
Well, no, like I mean, I've had like jalapeno where I was like, whoa. I got jalapeno because I was not trying to go this level of heat, even after I've taken the seeds out. Jalapeno can be sneaky. Yeah, jalapeno can be sneaky.
It can sneak up on you. So I have a hot take when it comes to peppers.
Love hot takes.
I really love Anaheim peppers.
Ooh.
Big Anaheim guy.
I'm a big Fresno pepper guy.
Oh, okay.
Why are all peppers named after cities in California?
San Diego peppers. Hey, whoa, no, I've got it. Josh Allen is the fireball pepper.
The fireball pepper.
The fireball pepper.
Oh my God.
We did it.
Eventually. Well, listen, this was a great run, Bruce. We had a lot of fun doing it.
We had a lot of fun. This is it. This is the pinnacle.
What we could do is we could just maybe scroll Richard Nixon's, kind of like the peace thing.
I'm not a crook.
I am not a crook, and we just kind of fizzle off into the background. I think at this point.
Yeah, I don't think we can top that. I think that's it.
No, we
won't.
We
should have T-shirts made.
The fireball.
Fireball pepper.
Come on now.
Andy knows what's up. Fireball pepper right here.
Now, I saw that Josh Allen recently made a hot sauce and a rub and a barbecue sauce. I say we approach him again, and we say, listen, we've got an entirely new hot sauce idea.
Fireball pepper. That's a W. It's absolutely a W.
I don't know how does he not say yes to that business opportunity?
Maybe because we're crazy?
I think probably a lot of that because
just a outside thought that maybe that would be the reason why someone might turn us down.
Yeah, that's probably.
But it's not the only game that we're going to compare to a food and compare to food stuff because that's what we do on this show. So Bills Steelers, Nate says is New York style pizza. I say it is jalapeno honey hummus. But the upcoming Chiefs game makes me feel like the food simile for this evening. Nate, the upcoming Chiefs game makes me feel like I am attempting an eating challenge. Now, Nate, have you ever attempted an eating challenge before?
It's so funny you say that, Bruce, because that was going to be my yes. So not a. Are we talking like eating challenge against people or competitive eating competition? Or are we talking about like the cheeseburger? Okay, yeah, the cheeseburger. The cheeseburger challenge. It's a plate-sized burger. I've done it, and my face is on the one off of Niagara Falls Boulevard. If anybody, my face is on the wall.
Well, there you go. Good for you. So for me, this is a eating challenge, and here's the reason why. I've done an eating challenge. I have succeeded. You can find places where my name or face,
of course,
is on the wall. Now, I will tell you this. It will not say Bruce Nolan because FBI, got to keep that stuff separate. But when you sit down to do an eating challenge.
Yep.
Number one, you have to prepare. You don't.
Oh,
you
do.
You don't just decide randomly on a Saturday afternoon. You don't want to do an eating challenge. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. You need to prepare. You need to plan. You need to know what you're doing. You need to take it seriously. Listen, food is fun, and so is football. But certain games and certain times, it becomes more than just fun. It becomes serious business.
That's right.
And Bills Chiefs is one of those things. This isn't 14-point spread against the Pittsburgh Steelers anymore. This isn't, well, we're going to rest a bunch of our starters, even though they probably could play. You know full well, if the Chiefs was last week, Jordan Poyer's playing.
Yeah. So is Tremaine Edmonds.
You know full well
so
if Tremaine Edmonds is playing last week.
Yeah.
If it's the Steelers. If it's not the Steelers. But in this case, it's all hands on deck.
Yeah.
I'm attempting an eating challenge. And maybe I've attempted an eating challenge before and I haven't been successful. And maybe that has given me the resolve necessary to be able to handle this one appropriately. Maybe I had a previous eating challenge where I ran out of time. Maybe I thought I had time. Turns out I only had 13 seconds left. Maybe that's the case. But I learned from that and I move on. And now I'm ready. I'm prepared. I am well established in the eating challenge space, and I am ready to move forward. With the Buffalo Bills, I already mentioned that I do not believe the Chiefs are the boogeyman, win or lose. I don't want to hear any narratives if the Buffalo Bills lose against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want to hear a single thing about them being the boogeyman, and the Bills just can't get over the hump, because a team that was very similar to this team beat a team that was very similar to this Chiefs team last year by 18 points and would have beaten them in the playoffs if not for 13 seconds. I don't want to hear anything about this. This is not the dynasty New England Patriots and the drought Bills. That's not what this is. And so for me, it's about tackling the next challenge. It's taking it seriously. It's planning. It's making sure you're prepping the night before, the day of. It's making sure your health is right, making sure your time is right, making sure you're appropriately allocating your energy, making sure your prioritization is correct. You got to eat certain things at certain times in certain ways to get max efficiency. This is not like eating any other meal.
No.
The Steelers is like eating any other meal. This is like an eating challenge. Nate, what you got?
I love it, Bruce. We're cut from the same cloth, you and I, because I was kind of going down the same thought process when I was doing my notes for the show. But I decided to go another deep cut. You went deep cut today on your hummus, your weird hummus tirade, right? Your hummus soapbox, so to speak. I'm going to go on my soapbox, and I'm going to go deep for this one. Bills Chiefs makes me feel like when McDonald's removed the brownie and Cinemelts from the menu. They just had too many damn calories, Bruce. They were so bad for you. Just terrible. Absolutely goddamn terrible for your health. Much like the stress and anxiety the buildup of this game is absolutely detrimental to my both mental and physical being, and frankly, emotional being. But it doesn't matter, because I'm going to order both of them when they're on the menu. I'm going to enjoy them like the fat waste of life that I am. And I'm just going to watch the best football of the weekend like I would if the Cinnamelt and Brownie Melt still existed at McDonald's. And for a moment, I'd like to, maybe pour one out. I still have the pour out glass here on the. Going to pour one out for the Cinnamelt and the Brownie Melts for McDonald's, because that was a great era of fast food. Much like this is currently one of the greatest eras of Buffalo Bills football we've seen in some time. There are a lot of parallels, Bruce, between the successes of the Brownie and the Cinnamelt with McDonald's as there are as the current day Buffalo Bills. And if you might say so, I have maybe as many troubles trying to choose between, the Cinnamelt and the Brownie Melt, much like I'm having a lot of issues trying to pick who I think's going to win this football game, Bruce. I've kind of gone back and forth all week on it. So that's why at the end of the day, you just eat both and you just enjoy the game and hope for the best outcome. That's probably what I'm going to do. I usually bet on a lot of these games, Bruce. I bet on a lot of parlays, spreads, outcomes. I'm staying the hell away from this game. I kind of want it to be a pure, rejuvenating football experience. Have my 4 o'clock hour, not have any money riding on it. I'm just going to watch the game in its purest form.
I like it.
Have you you've had the Cinnamelt before?
I have had the Cinnamelt. Yes.
The brownie melt.
I did not have the brownie melt.
Oh, Bruce.
I'm sorry.
Oh, dude, this
I'm
thing
sorry.
was. It was so
Okay.
chocolatey. It was so. Oh my God, Bruce! It was hot. It was like It's like what you want the lava cake at the restaurant to taste like. It looks like it should taste really good. It's got the exploding chocolate, and it always is either way too sweet or not chocolatey enough. Do you know what I mean? Like it's because it's fake. It's oily chocolate. Like it's not good quality. There was something, Bruce, about the fat content that existed in that brownie melt and the cocoa. Oh my God, Bruce, it just was the best. When did they get rid of it? When did McDonald's?
Oh, here we go. This is the content you all come here for.
Every week.
Nate,
every week,
Googling
Bruce.
something live on show.
Here we go. What the hell happened to brownie melts? At talkbass.com, which is that's embarrassing. It's Talkbase, but what are you going to do? Who else absolutely loved these tasty treats from McDonald's? Where have they gone? Somebody responded back. Ooh, 2011. They went away in 2011. They brought back the McRib, but they have not brought back the brownie melt. That tells you how absolutely terrible it was for you.
Nate, I have a suggestion for our listeners.
Make your own brownie melt?
No, food for thought drinking game. It's Friday night. No, it's Friday night. Seriously, it's Friday night. What better opportunity, guys? Okay. Quick, stop what you're doing.
Especially about how predictable you and I are.
Okay, you're listening to this show. Stop what you're doing. Email me. I am Bruce Nolan at gmail.com. Email me your ideas for a food for thought drinking game, and I will tweet it out before the episode next week. I will come up with some things. Take a shot if Nate Googles something live on the show. It's going to be one of those things. It's Friday night. Is there a better night to have a drinking game? Is there a better show to listen to and have a drinking game than this show? This is perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Especially just because of how predictable and easy. Like you could just, we telegraph some things sometimes, don't we?
Yes. And my wife loves me because I'm predictable, right? I have had people in my life tell me that you could set your sundial by me. So I am great to have some sort of drinking game for this show. This show for a drinking game. Every time Nate says something about being at a black tie event or being at something snooty, right? Take a drink, right? Every time we Google something live on show, take a drink. Every time we go off the rails, take it. No. If you do, no. If you take a drink every time we go off the rails, you will die.
Yeah, you'll be in trouble.
Yes.
Okay. In trouble.
Speaking of in trouble.
Yes.
See, how's this for a transition? Oh my gosh.
Good transition.
A team that plays another team in the NFL.
Okay.
And finds themselves in trouble by a lot of points at a still relatively early part of the game. What do you call that, Nate? What do you call it when a team is in a lot of trouble against another team, but the game is not really over yet? What kind of game is that at that point? It's a what?
Boat race?
Okay, yeah. Okay. A boat race. Keep going. What else do you say? A boat race. It's what would be another term for we boat raced them?
We shellacked.
Shellacked them, sure.
We brutalized.
Brutalized works. Let's go with blowout.
Bludgeoned.
Bludgeoned works, good. But
okay,
I had an email sent to me from Jeremy who said,
love a good email.
Bruce and Nate, I would like your help on this. And I thought this is a great email for this show. He wants us to define blowout. And I have something. So I'm going to go first and I'm going to kind of talk around it while you think about it. Okay. He said, given that the Bills are on the verge of setting the NFL record for most consecutive regular season wins by double digits, I'm curious as to how you would define blowout. Now, he sent this to me, obviously, before the Buffalo Bills beat the Ravens.
Okay.
Is it simply a numeric spread between winning and losing teams? If so, what's your number? Or is it a combination of numeric, spread, and feel? For example, the Tennessee game was a
question.
blowout no matter how you slice it. No real analysis required. But last year, Buffalo beat Miami 35-0. I remember thinking it was a blowout on paper, but it didn't feel like one. And I don't think I was alone. What say you? Now, I like objective definitions of things. Having a definition of something that is objective is really important.
Really gets you off.
Yes, it really does.
No doubt. There's no doubt.
There's nothing I love more than a good definition. I'll give you a great example. We have frequently misused the term friend in today's society. Social media
no doubt.
has completely diluted the term friend. Right. So I decided years and years ago that I was going to redefine the word friend for myself. And because of that, I don't have any of them, right? Because here is my definition of friend. And I've mentioned this on the Bruce Exclusive before. If I ask you to help me move, and it is not awkward for me to say or awkward for you to hear, then therefore you're a friend. That's it. It doesn't even matter if you say yes or no. It doesn't matter. If either one of us were to feel awkward during that request, then you're not a friend.
Yeah. That's fair.
It's that simple. Now, you could be a friendly acquaintance. You could be a partner. You could be all sorts of wonderful things. But the word friend is used way too loosely in today's society. And a lot of people get offended by this because then, of course, they immediately think to themselves, well, Bruce, does that mean we're not friends? And I'll go, yes, it does. That doesn't mean I don't like you. It doesn't mean we don't have a great relationship. But if I were to ask you in a hypothetical world to help me move, and it would be awkward for me to say, or it'd be awkward for you to hear, we're not friends. That's the definition. So we're going to define blowout, and I'm going to define it this way. A blowout is a game in which the win probability of one team reaches 90% and stays at that number through the entire second half. So you reach it at some point in the second half, and you stay that way the entire time. You can't reach it like the fourth quarter, but you reach it at halftime or in the third quarter, and it stays there the whole time. That's my definition.
You want a living definition where I feel like I'd like an equation more for this, Bruce.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Because I think about a blowout as 2 parts feel, 1 part score. Because I think it's more important to place more emphasis on the feel of a game. A perfect example of this, Bruce, is the Miami Dolphins game. The Bills lost.
The Bills did lose.
They sort of blew out the Miami Dolphins in terms of statistics in that game. They should have blown them out. But isn't that funny, though? Because in the same working definition you're talking about, you have to hit a particular benchmark.
Sure.
And I'm not sure. I think a blowout's more of an umbrella than a benchmark to me.
Andy asked, "Can you reach a blowout prior to halftime?" Yes. I'm gonna quick rephrase it because I was doing it on the fly. You have to reach 90% win probability at some point before the beginning of the fourth quarter, and it has to stay there for the entire remainder of the game. That's my definition of blowout. If you reach 90% win probability in the second quarter and it never dips below 90 for the rest of the way, that's a blowout. Karen and Castellan have awesome things here. Karen says, if Bruce says, and I'll tell you why, drink. Castellan said that. You know what? I just realized I do say that a lot.
You certainly
and I'll
do.
tell you why. Yes. Bruce mentions the FBI. Drink. Every time Nate's chair squeaks, drink. See? We have something here, Nate. I'm telling you right now, this is the way. Come with us on Friday nights, pull up a chair, grab your Genesee, and have a drinking game with us. Every time Nate's chair, every time the cat jumps in to the screen, take a drink.
That's good stuff. That's good.
We're going to start the show next week. Email me this stuff, guys, by the way. Email me. Even if you put it in the comment section, email me so I can keep it in one location. We're going to start the show next week. Try and remind me. And we're going to read off the drinking game rules when we do the Genesee Brewing Company ad read. That's what we're going to do. It's going to be great.
So good. It's so good. That's just generally speaking. it's part of this show that is, we were talking about how genuine this show is, because when we start the show, we will have anywhere between 20 and 1 minute. There is no, it just depends on how busy we are prior to the show, whether or not we're going to have an opportunity to sit down and chat. But we never discuss what we are going to bring to the table in our segments on the show. It's what makes it so genuine. When you are saying your bit, it's the first time I'm hearing it. It's the same time everyone else is hearing it. But I got to say, there's one really good one in this one. It's Karen. You guys, we won't make it through halfway through this show. It'll be 9:35, and Andy will be like bumping into his TV and just,
Every time your chair squeaks, you're going to die. You will die. Do not do this. You will die.
Yes, actually, your doctor would advise you against doing the food for thought drinking game.
But you don't have to tell him. What he doesn't know won't hurt him.
That's true. What your doctor don't know don't hurt him.
Yes, but what your doctor don't know might hurt you. So
yeah, no, really. No, seriously.
Yeah. Winners and losers from this week in the NFL. This has been a fun week in the NFL, in my opinion. I think there's been a lot of potential winners, a lot of potential losers. Let's start with losers.
Okay.
My biggest loser is, again, something I had to change at the last minute. My biggest loser is Cam Akers. Cam Akers.
Consistently.
Los Angeles Rams running back. Going into last year, extremely high. The NFL and everyone else extremely high on Cam Akers. Tears his Achilles, comes back, is ineffective, but that's not the story. The story is, how did he come back from a torn Achilles so fast? Again, this offseason, the Cam Akers hype starts building. And then he comes out week 1, barely touches the ball, and Sean McVay starts saying things like, he needs to take better advantage of the opportunities he's getting. And you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And now,
very weird.
Cam Akers is going to miss this game for, quote, personal reasons, while Sean McVay says that he and the team are working out some things.
Yeah, what's that mean?
And he was non-committal to Cam Akers being on the team moving forward. Cam Akers went from one of the unsung heroes of that running back class. That running back class was Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, DeAndre Swift, and Cam Akers. The big 5. And everyone was like, man, these are really, what's your order of running backs? I was a J.K. Dobbins guy, by the way. It went Dobbins, Swift, Taylor, Akers, Edwards-Helaire for me, I think.
Okay.
And Edwards-Helaire ended up going first, which is weird. But Cam Akers went from that. He's going to be a better pro than a college player because Florida State's offensive system and offensive line was garbage. Like, you watch Cam Akers and you go, I don't even know what to do with this. Like, I don't know what to do with this. Florida State underdeveloped so many of their skill position players. Heck, not skill position. So many of their players, period. Under that regime, it was a disaster. And you watch Cam Akers and you go, man, this guy's all the talent in the world. Got all the talent in the world. And so when you draft him, you're like, man, this guy could be the steal of the draft. He could be the best running back in his group. Now, of course, it sounds silly because Jonathan Taylor's in that group, but it sounds silly. And you're thinking to yourself, he went from that to, I came back from a torn Achilles and I'm here for the playoff run, to, I got this offseason hype, to, I might not be on the team and I could get traded for spare parts. This could be
Bills could take him.
He could end up as a Denver Bronco.
Yeah.
Like, fairly soon.
Usually when a franchise is the face of the franchise, as the head coach says, we're working out some things, that means he's in the middle of being, is the term is it albatrossed?
Albatross? Can you make the albatross into a verb?
I think.
I have no idea. I've never heard albatross used as a verb before.
What do you call it when you send somebody to...
Excommunicated?
Yeah, sure. Excommunicated. He's being excommunicated. He's being
banished?
He's being scratched out. He's being scratched out. That's a Stuart Little term.
Okay. Being scratched out. So my biggest loser of the week, Cam Akers. Nate, what you got?
Biggest loser of the week? All of us. For having to watch that Thursday night football game. My God, What an absolute disaster. And then what a disaster the post-game press conference was for Ron Rivera. And listen, Ron Rivera is one of those kind of all-time nice guys, a guy you root for in the NFL. Cancer survivor, is right now trying to steer the ship that's got 1 million holes in the dike, and he's trying to just put his fingers into all of them to try to stop the leak from sinking the ship. But it's not a good roster. He defended Carson Wentz after throwing him under the bus. So, and I know he wanted to take back what he said, and he kind of blamed the media for misconstruing his words. He said what he said, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much longer he should survive. People want to point out how much respect he holds in that building. No doubt about it. I agree. But eventually, the goal is to win football games, Bruce. And he has not won football games since becoming the head coach of the Washington Commanders. And although respect can certainly play a big role, it should. I mean, it should be it should be your baseline foundation is that players respect you, people within the organization respect you. That's why you're in a leadership position, because you hold that respect. But my gosh, man, I don't know what to make of that franchise, because you have to keep a head coach on a bad football team because your team's bad and because your owner's a genuine piece of bleep. And then you've got the Chicago Bears. And thank you to our good buddy Michael Partham for bringing this up as well. On the whole, we're losers for the game. But the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields are also losers in this endeavor as well. It's not just the winning team that's a loser. It was actually the losers in this game that's also the loser. I love what Ryan Fitzpatrick had to say. I don't know what to make, Bruce, of Justin Fields. I am not convinced that he is got the chops to be an NFL thrower, be a guy that can win from the pocket and be more than an elite athlete outside of the pocket. We're seeing Jalen Hurts right now, and Lamar Jackson probably is the two best examples of this. When they are given the tools, when they run an offense that's heavy in RPO, that moves them outside of the pocket, that gets them on the run, gets them creating off schedule, that's where their athleticism and their arm strength and the things they could do begin to thrive. But when you start to ask Jalen Hurts to take 3-step and 5-step drops from under center and hit timing and rhythm routes, comeback routes, sideline, far hash, far sideline shots, you're not setting him up for success. Can he make the throws? Of course he can. But is he going to do that? Is that how he's going to win in the NFL? Is that how Philadelphia's 5-0, potentially going to be 6-0? No, not at all, Bruce. And shame on the Bears I want to say shame on the Bears, but the Bears, it feels like, Bruce, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong in this take, it sort of looks like the Bears are saying they're throwing this rat out into the, the maze, right? And they put a little piece of cheese at one end, and they've given him no tools. They've turned off the lights, and it's a dead-end maze, and you can't get to the cheese. And no matter what, that rat's just going to run circles around it and never realize that he's never getting to the cheese. Because what they're trying to do is see if he can function in an NFL offense with NFL route concepts, with an offensive line that can't block, and a group of wide receivers that can't do the things they're being asked to do anyways. So they're setting him up to fail. And even if he wasn't so set up, if all the cards weren't stacked up against him, Bruce, I'm still not sure that unless he had an offense exactly designed like Philadelphia with all the weapons they have and the offensive line that they have, I'm not sure there's a path for Justin Fields to be successful in the NFL. It was a really detrimental night for him because a lot of his weaknesses were on display for people to finally kind of see. And yes, we all agree that Chicago is malpractice and it's terrible coaching and they're not setting him up to succeed. All of those things are true, but I'm not really sure that Justin Fields is a legitimate NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I watched that and I didn't come away feeling good about Justin Fields, even though he was the better quarterback than Carson Wentz. That's a pretty low bar to clear last night. And being better than Carson Wentz at this point is not something that you look at as a feather in your cap.
Right.
So whoever the best quarterback on the field was last night wasn't going to be able to feel overly good about themselves, and their fan base probably wasn't able to feel overly good about them. So my biggest winner for the week is going to wait because you're going to go first. But before you do that, some comment section here. Andy says, everyone who watched Thursday Night Football last night, instead of watching She-Hulk and Andor, was a loser. I watched She-Hulk and Andor. The most recent episode of Andor was fantastic. The season finale of She-Hulk was weird as crap. So those are my takes. I'm no spoilers from me. Bruce is a strict no spoiler man. But Nate, your biggest winner of the week is who?
Biggest winner of the week, Kenneth Walker. And it's an unfortunate win for him because his teammate Rashad Penny goes down with a season-ending leg injury that now turns the backfield over to the second-round pick, a guy that I think has proven in the short stint he's already had and the opportunities he's been given that he was going to have to earn more carries. He earned them without the injury to Rashad Penny, but Rashad Penny was playing so darn good, Bruce. And it sucks to see the injury happen to him. But at the same time, you know, his injury is opening the door now to see Kenneth Walker in real time take this job over and really run with it. And I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to sort of see what he's got in that backfield full time for an offense that I think is darn good.
Yeah, and Geno has been, of course, a revelation. So this is a good opportunity. All you can ask for is an opportunity. And, you know, Rashad Penny's going to get his own opportunity next year. He's on a 1-year deal, so he gets an opportunity next year. I think if you are a team who runs a zone system, you know, Rashad Penny is special when healthy. Like, special when healthy.
Yeah.
That I'm not being hyperbolic.
No.
I mean, this is a guy who's averaged over the last 16 games. He's averaged 6.5 yards a carry.
Right.
I mean, just explosive stuff.
It's crazy.
I mean, this is like Jamal Charles level production when healthy kind of stuff. I'm not saying stop if you're listening to this. Jamal Charles is one of my favorite players of all time. Rashad Penny is not Jamal Charles. I'm saying that's the level of yards per carry type of production you're getting when it comes from them. They're very, very, very different players. Anyway, my biggest loser this week was Cam Akers, and my biggest winner is PJ Walker.
Ooh.
PJ Walker is my biggest winner this week. And the reason PJ Walker is my biggest winner this week is because PJ Walker gets a chance to prove something interesting this week and moving forward. He gets a chance to prove that he's not just Matt Rule's dude. Because Matt Rule had him at Temple.
That's right.
And if there was going to be an avenue for previous spring league star PJ Walker to be able to crack an NFL roster, it was going to be with someone who was familiar with him, which was Matt Rule. Well, Matt Rule ain't bringing any more Temple guys to the NFL. That's not what's happening, which means now Matt Rule's gone. Phil Snow is gone. You have an opportunity, PJ Walker, to show that you can be a backup quarterback to other teams absent Matt Rule. And no one has to wonder if you're just the Matt Rule guy.
That's right.
This is your opportunity.
That's right.
You're 27 years old. You can still have 5 to 7 years of backup quarterback 1-year deals in you, baby. That you can still do that if you play well over the next couple of weeks. And so when you see someone like, I made the same kind of comment about Andy Dalton last week or the week before, when I said, sometimes all you need as a backup quarterback is 1 or 2 reasonable games, and it can sustain you. Goodness gracious, how long have some of these backup quarterbacks gone? Chase Daniel has gone
you never see him play
on 2 snaps, and all you need is just a little bit. So for me, biggest winner this week is the guy with the opportunity in front of him. It's PJ Walker.
I am rooting for PJ Walker mostly because I'm starting him in my fantasy lineup this week.
Yes, I saw you picked him up. I was happy for you. I actually thought he'd be got. You have 0 FOB now, right? You used your last $5 on him, right?
Yeah.
0. Nate has, it is, what is it, week 6 now?
Yeah.
And Nate has 0 FOB left in Dynasty.
Yeah.
He cannot spend a single dollar on a single
0
player.
FOB, 0 picks next year. Let's go, baby.
YOLO. Currently in our Dynasty League, Greg Thompson and Pat Moran are both trying to collect as many picks next year as they humanly can. So the two of them are like competing for who can trade away the players that they don't think are going to be really relevant in 2 or 3 years and try to make things happen. So that's always fun.
Yeah, but Greg Thompson has 4 second-round picks next year.
Yeah, he has all of mine. I traded him away and then he gave him to somebody else. I had two ones and the four twos, and now I got rid of all of them because I traded them away for stuff because I can win in a third chip in a row this year. I can pull it off maybe. So we'll see.
Potentially.
Back to back. Not one, not two, not. Oh no, I'm just kidding. Anyway. Oh, you guys can't see it, but he made a face. He made a face. If you're listening to podcasts, he did the face. I want you to do me a favor. Just take the top of your front lip and try and attach it to your bottom of your nose. Like that. That's the face he made. No. The top of your front lip. Yeah.
Like this.
Yes. Have that go up as much as humanly possible without using your hands. And that's the face you just made. Yeah, there we go. Right there. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Just like that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting it now. You're
getting it.
I did not get it originally, but I got it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We did the
thing.
The thing has been done. So next week, come back because we're going to have a drinking game. We're going to have a food for thought drinking game. So email me. A reminder, I am brucenolan@gmail.com. Email me your ideas for the drinking game. I will write up something. I will put them on. We're going to put them on a banner at the very beginning. We're going to put it up at the banner at the very beginning. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. Yeah. I can't believe we haven't thought of this before.
I can actually. I can believe it.
What, really?
We're just so busy. We're just so busy during the show. Things.
That's what.
We stuff so much stuff into an hour. I mean, when are we supposed to come up with such a great idea? I mean, come on.
On the show, literally on the show.
That's it. I love it.
Cool. All right,
we've made it.
We did it. We did the thing. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back next week to play the drinking game with us. But most importantly, more important than any of that stuff, I hope you didn't leave hungry.